Hey everyone, BBQ Kyle here. Today I'm going to be showing you how to do a multi-position switch. Right here I have a 2-position, a 3-position, and a 4-position switch. Now what this means is, every time the circuit gets an input, it's going to send an output to one of up to 4 different locations. So this is our 4-position switch, and as you can see, every time I press this button, it changes the output to the next one in sequence. So first we're going to start off with a 2-position switch that works on the same principles as our 4-position switch. There may be better ways of doing this, but this shows the principles of how the 4-position switch works. So all of our switches are going to start with a monostable circuit. I'll show you how to build that real quick. Our input goes into this block and up here. Down here we're going to place a repeater with a 2-tick delay. And up here we're going to place a redstone torch. Redstone dust there, and an inverted torch here. Now what the circuit does is, no matter how long the pulse is at the input, the output will be a pulse of a set duration. The way it works is, as soon as an input is detected, this torch turns off, stopping power to this redstone, which will turn on this torch. After a 2-tick delay, as we have our repeater set to, the repeater will then supply the power, which will then turn this torch back off. So we'll get a 1-tick pulse out of this circuit. Over here we have the framework of our switch circuit. This will be our input, so you can input anywhere along this back row here. At each end we're going to place a comparator in subtract mode, and then in front of it run 2 pieces of redstone. That redstone will power one of these 2 pistons, and we'll place a block of redstone in between the 2. Now the position of this block of redstone will determine which output of the circuit is being powered. So now I'm just going to run the output of our monostable circuit to the input of our switch circuit. Now if we were to just supply power to both of these pistons at the same time, this one would fire because there's nothing in front of it, while this one would always stay the same. What we want is, when we push that button and a pulse is put into the circuit, for this block to move over. So what we need to do is add detection so the circuit knows what position this block is in. So what we're going to do is, on this side of the redstone block, is we're going to place a repeater and set it to full delay. Place a torch up here, and then another repeater here set to full delay. Now we're going to do the exact same for the other side. So for those of you who don't know how comparators work in subtract mode, what it's going to do is take the strength of the signal coming into the back, subtract the strength of the signal coming in from the side, and then output the result. As we see here, it has a full strength going into the side, so now no matter what signal strength goes in, it's not going to output anything because it's subtracting a full signal strength. This comparator, on the other hand, is not receiving a signal from the side, so it's going to accept the signal coming into the back, subtract 0, and basically just repeat whatever signal strength came into the back of the comparator. So when we press the button to trigger this, both of these comparators will receive a signal, but only this one is going to output one, making sure the block changes position. So back over here, I'm going to press the button. And as we see, the block is now in the other place. So now we have to wire up the output. Now there's numerous ways you can do this. I'm just going to show you one of the simpler ones. We're going to place 2 repeaters like that. Torches on the sides, a block on top of the torches, and then redstone dust running to our output. Now as you can see, the right output is on, but if I press the button, it switches over to the left. If I press it again, it switches back over to the right. Now you may think we're doing the 3-position switch next, but actually it'll be easier to explain the 3-position if I do the 4-position first, so that's where we're going to go. As you can see here, I have a monostable circuit, but I'm missing the final inverted torch. That's because this circuit will advance 1 position when the signal is turned off, unlike our 2-position switch, which advances the circuit when the signal is turned on. So instead of just inverting the circuit twice, we just got rid of the inverter. Now I'm going to show you the framework, since this is a little bit more complicated. We're going to build 3 in one direction, top, then turn 90 degrees, 3, with 1 on top, 2 down this way, then a stack of 2, 2 this way, stack of 2, oops, and then 2 this way. And then we're going to fill this in. Now right here, we're going to place a block here, and we're going to do the same on all 4 sides, just like that. And we position it so that the base of this L is lined up with the block on the left. And then 2 blocks over from that, we're going to stack up 2 on each side. And we should end up with this odd shape right here. Now, just like over here on our 2 position switch, where we have 2 inputs that are wired together, on our 4 input switch, we're going to have 4 inputs that are wired together. Now, if you're looking at one of the sides like this, the input on all 4 sides will be this block right here, and you will need a torch on top. So we'll place 4 torches all the way around. Now we need to wire them together. The easiest way is to just wire into this one, wire into that one, and you see the torches turn off. Now this circuit works the exact same way, but the reason we don't want an inverted torch here is because these torches are doing that job. Coming out of each of those 2, we're going to place a repeater, and then run redstone to the next one. And the same goes for this one. Our next step is to place our comparator. So we'll place it there, put it in subtract mode, just right in front of each torch. Now it's time to put in our pistons. So standing in the middle of our framework, we're going to place it on the right of each gap, just like that. Now when the comparator supplies an output to this block, it will power the piston. And now we can place our redstone block in one of these 4 places. It doesn't matter which one to start. Now, just like we have over here, we have a check circuit, so the circuit knows which piston to fire. We have our redstone block into a repeater with maximum delay. The signal's then inverted and sent to the comparator that fires this piston. Well, we're going to do the same over here. This repeater will go into this block. We'll set it to maximum delay. Place an inverted torch, and then all we need is a piece of redstone dust right there. Now you see it's bleeding over and it's connecting here. We don't want that. All we have to do is place a block there, and it separates the 2 runs of redstone. Now we'll do the same on all 4 sides, placing blocks where we need to make sure these 2 runs of redstone are separated. And now this circuit is fully functional. As I press the button, the redstone block moves 1 position. There's 2, 3, and 4. So here I've wired up the outputs to our redstone lamps. There are a number of ways you can do this. You can draw the power directly off of the block that the repeater faces into. You can place a redstone torch on top of that same block, and then do a 2-level elevator and pull from this torch. Or you can just pull off this torch from the side, place a block on top, invert that signal, and then run it to the output. So the way I have it wired up, that's our first position. There's our second position. Third position. Fourth position. And now moving on to our 3-position switch. And remember how I said if I did the 4-position switch first, the 3 would be easier to understand? That's because it is pretty much the exact same thing. We're just going to change one thing. Instead of this needing to be here, we're going to take that out. We don't need to run an input to this one. We're going to take all this out. Just collect that up. Take that out. And instead of building this one like the other ones, we're just going to build up 2. Run redstone from this block to here. And right now it's in our first position. I'll press the button. It goes to the second. Press the button again. And it'll skip the third and go straight to the fourth, effectively making this the 3rd position. Now all I've done is wired up our outputs just like I did on the 4-position switch. As you can see, it's in the first position. Press the button. Moves to the second. Press the button. And it moves to the third. Well, I hope you guys learned something from this. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, please leave a comment. If you learned something, please leave a like. And until next time, guys, take it easy.